CBS 6 has been bringing you complete coverage of the winter storm all week. Today is no different. We have several live crews scattered across the region reporting on road conditions and power outages. Thanks for joining us. I'm Julie Bragg.
And I'm Rob Desir. Right now, we're seeing a brief pause in the icy weather for most of the region, but it is expected to return to the area again tonight. So let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Zach Danny, with the forecast. Zach?
Yeah, things changed very quickly this morning. Went from just what appeared to be wet roads to all of a sudden snow and ice covered as we had a period of sleet and snow that moved through the area. Now we're back to what appears to be just wet roads, but there are some slick spots out there as temperatures are very close to freezing. It's 33 in Richmond and Petersburg, 32 in Chester, 31 in Ashland. Looking at some of the local temperatures across the area, it's dropped to 31 now in Ashland and Mechanicsville, so both of them now updating and dropping. It's 32 out in Short Pump, 32 over in Midlothian. And looking at the winter weather advisory and the winter storm warning, the advisory dropped to our east. It remains in effect way out west, and we still here across most of the Piedmont are under a winter storm warning till 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. What we have falling right now, you can't really see on radar, it is drizzle. It's either drizzle or freezing drizzle, depending on what the temperature is in your particular location. You just saw those a moment ago. We're going to have more moisture developing, pushing up into Virginia later on tonight. So another round of drizzle and freezing drizzle. This is 7 o'clock tonight. Again, very light at that time, but as the night wears on, we'll see more developing, and it could be a true wintry mix across the area, seeing both freezing rain, maybe a little bit of sleet in there as well. This is 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we'll have that chance for a little bit of freezing weather to continue. And then as we get into the afternoon hour, everything starts to shift to the east. Your forecast for tonight will drop probably just 1 degree here through 11 o'clock. We may drop to 31 for the overnight low, but I think 32 and an increasing chance for light rain and freezing rain, a north wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. But brighter and much warmer days do lie ahead of us, and we'll cover that in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Zach. Stay with CBS 6 as we stay on top of the winter weather. Since it could be icy tomorrow morning, we will be on the air for the morning newscast starting at 4 a.m.
And now to some breaking news. Chesterfield County Schools have announced tomorrow will be an asynchronous learning day for students. School buildings and offices will be closed, and 12-month staff will be virtual. Several other school districts will be closed Friday, including Lunenburg, Nottoway, and Buckingham County Schools. No word yet from the Richmond, Henrico, and Hanover divisions. And remember, you can always find a full list of closings and delays on our website at WTVR.com.
Virginia state troopers have already responded to dozens of crashes in central Virginia during this storm, and VDOT is warning people to stay off the roads tonight.
Our Cameron Thompson is live in Storm Rider 6. And Cameron, how are the roads looking right now?
Well, right now, Rob and Julie, we're kind of entering into Petersburg from the south along 95. I'm going to switch the cameras over here so you can take a look from our dash cam video right now. And as you can see, wet roadways, not seeing anything really pooling on the roads where we've been. Major roadways through Chesterfield, Richmond, Henrico, like I said, in the Tri-Cities area where we are right now. And of course, a different story earlier today: snow, sleet, freezing rain all over the place, making for treacherous travel, and that led to some delays and cancellations for some of the major ways that people get around here in the region. GRTC and Petersburg Area Transit, both bus systems, announced that they were suspending their service around midday for the remainder of the day. GRTC has since announced that they're resuming normal service tomorrow, and we are still waiting on word for Petersburg. Greyhound and Amtrak also announced that they were canceling or modifying some of their service in our area as a result of the weather. And then at the Richmond International Airport, the majority of flights were canceled today because of what we were seeing. And the spokesperson tells me that as of around just about an hour ago, 59 of the 88 scheduled flights were canceled. There are already 9 canceled for tomorrow. So he's reminding people that check your flight status before you leave your house and give yourself extra time to get to the airport if in fact your flight is still on. Now, as for the impacts on the roads, we talked about what state police were seeing during the 4 o'clock hour. Local departments a little bit quieter, as Hanover reported only 2 crashes as of this afternoon, 34 in Henrico. Richmond reported 18 calls for service for crashes, but with a caveat, that might not be the exact numbers. They could have gotten multiple calls for just one crash. And then in Chesterfield, only 13 crashes, 3 of them with injury. And Lieutenant Adrian Otero with Chesterfield's North B platoon said today was relatively calm in comparison to what they saw last weekend.
I think it really has to do with people heeding the warnings and not coming out. As I drove around, throughout our district, there wasn't very many people out traveling, which, we are very grateful for, because that means that, we don't have to deal with the disabled vehicles or vehicles that, are involved in motor vehicle crashes. So if you can, please stay home.
And again, back with us in Storm Rider 6, just entering into Colonial Heights here on 95. And coming up at 5:30, we've got some new stats on what state police were seeing both locally and around the Commonwealth, and we'll talk about that coming up at 5:30. Working for you in Storm Rider 6 in Colonial Heights, Cameron Thompson, CBS 6 News.
All right, Cameron, thank you. And not only does an accumulation of ice impact the roads, but as we've seen, it can knock out the power as well. As crews prepare for another round of outages, they're still trying to catch up with the last storm, Julie.
Yeah, take a look at this map, Rob. It shows the 23,000 people. Hold on, we're going to get to it. 23,000 people depend on Southside Electric Cooperative for electricity. That includes families who live in Dinwiddie, Nottoway, and Amelia counties. So if we could see that map, are we going to see that map? Because I don't want to talk about red and blue dots if they can't see the map. Let's see what's next. It is not working. Let's go to the next. I just got to figure out what's next. Thank you for being patient with us. At least we have power here. Dominion also has thousands of customers in those Southside counties, and they are out there, their crews, in the freezing wet conditions, trying to fix issues right now. Our senior reporter Wayne Koval talked to some of them today. And Wayne, how are they holding up?
Well, let me tell you, Julie, as cold rain came down this morning, crews with Dominion Energy were out. They remained out. They were safe, but they were doing their jobs, getting power restored to customers in Dinwiddie County who at this point have had their power out for 6 days.
Cold, wet, muddy. It is tough, but you know what? That's the life of a lineman.
The destruction left behind from Saturday's ice storm, hard for many outside the area to comprehend. Tim Little has 40 years with Dominion Energy.
I've worked a lot of ice storms. I've worked a few hurricanes. This is probably the worst ice storm I've ever seen in my career.
Here in Dinwiddie County, scenes like this are easy to see. The broken power poles and downed power lines explain why the power is out. But what you can't see,
this is like a hurricane went through here,
is one reason it takes time to restore the electricity.
Right now we have a grove of trees that have laid over because of the ice, and we got to get some tree crews in there to help us cut the limbs and stuff back so we can try and get the wire back up to our customers on the other end.
But it's not just the side of line damage that concerns these workers.
The only thing that really surprises me is the damage to people's homes. That's my biggest surprise. That hits a soft spot.
This Dominion Energy crew out of Virginia Beach working 15-hour days.
When do you go home? We don't know. We were told to pack for 3 days when we came here the first time. So we're beyond our 3 days.
Ultimately, there is one goal.
You figure out how to get your work done and go get it done. It's all about the customer getting the lights back on.
But on this Thursday, with cold rain coming down and ice forming where the rain hits,
it's just another day. It's just another obstacle that you got to go across.
Just long hours and a lot of manual labor.
Lots and lots of manual labor. Now, the rain proved to be cold and quick to freeze, but for the Dominion Energy crew, it was not an obstacle that they couldn't overcome. And the crew tells me after 6 days here, they really do appreciate those hot cups of coffee and hot chocolate that customers gave them. They said they will remember that when they head back home to Virginia Beach. Working for you in Dinwiddie County, Wayne Koval, CBS 6 News.
All right, Wayne, thank you.
Yes, and thank you for that view of what they're up against. I wish I could hand them hot coffee right now. Thank you to all the power workers. In the Metro Richmond region, the number of customers without power isn't alarming at this point, but officials are still telling families to prepare because that could change.
Our Shelby Brown is live in Chesterfield with what their biggest concerns are right now. Shelby?
Well, Robin, Julie, Dominion Energy officials tell us they started the day with 3,000 customers without power from that last storm. And now, as this area is facing a second round of ice, it's posing new challenges for those crews who are braving the elements to get the lights back on. With an eye to the sky and an eye on the roads as Mother Nature coats some areas with ice, Dominion Energy crews anticipating more outages say their mission is focused.
We were able to restore more than 97% of the 290,000 customers that were without power as of yesterday afternoon. We were still working on those rest of the customers through the day and night.
With little more than 3,000 customers still needing power restored, Dominion Energy spokesperson Rich Tran says the company has added resources to deal with this second round of winter weather.
The ice accumulations can weigh down tree limbs and cause more power outages. So that we've seen fallen trees from the previous ice storm. We've seen broken poles. So it does cause a lot more, a bigger mess.
Dominion Energy has more than 6,000 workers from 12 states prepared to tackle trouble spots.
We are still seeing ice accumulating across Virginia, including the South Side, Richmond Metro, the Piedmont Valley, and parts of Northern Virginia. And we do expect the inclement weather to continue into Friday morning and encourage our customers to stay prepared and for the possibility of multiple days without power.
And so customers who are experiencing a power outage, you are being encouraged to use the new Dominion app to report that outage and to also track the outage in your neighborhood. You can also call this number, 1-866-DOM-HELP. Working for you in Chesterfield County, Shelby Brown, CBS 6 News.